was 25 carries for 93 yards. Henry Ruggs, 3 catches for 55 yards. That was explosive, very explosive. Let's see if he can improve upon his first game. Teddy Bridgewater had a solid outing, 22 for 34, 270, 1 touchdown. Christian McCaffrey, 23 carries, 96 yards, 2 touchdowns. Robbie Anderson, six catches for 115 for a touchdown. So that was pretty good. Good game. Overall, I think Carolina's going to be a decent team, going to shock a lot of people. So with the Raiders, they might mess around and make the playoffs, make some noise. Let's see if they can keep on progressing. And Josh Jacobs, like I say, he left off where he started, and he's going to pick up and get better. Mitch Trubisky, Bears versus the Lions, and Lions fan, I can't even blame it on Matthew Stafford. DeAndre Swift dropped that game-winning touchdown pass. But Matthew Stafford was a little shaky. 24 for 42, 297. AP ran for 14 carries for 93 yards. So I thought they did have production in the run game. Mr. Trubisky threw 3 touchdowns late in the fourth quarter. How y'all can have a fourth quarter collapse like that to me, which was really confusing. You got Miller, 4 catches for 76 yards for a touchdown, and Allen Robinson doing his thing for 5 catches, 74 yards. This was a pivotal game, especially for teams like the Lions and Bears, who are trying to get off to a early win and get probably the easiest divisional game that they're going to have against each other. So it's going to be tough to see how they bounce back, especially the Lions, knowing that they blowed in the fourth quarter. The Seahawks versus Atlanta. Man, Russell Wilson's probably my number 1 MVP candidate starting off, and I'll make a video later about that. But he's a bad dude, man. He's not flawed, man. Russell Wilson not having a strong run game, not having the best wide receivers, and not having the best offensive line. He just put in a productive game, and the Jamal Adams trade, man, it worked out for the Seahawks. We said, oh, do you really want to trade two first round picks for Jamal Adams? And look what they did, man. He made some noise, a sack. He had a couple of 9 tackles. He was very productive. He was all over the field. He had a lot of fun. DK Metcalf, another breakout wide receiver, 4 catches for 95 yards and a touchdown. He's gonna, hey, Superman. He's doing Superman things. And just watch out for Russell Wilson. Matt Ryan, 37. How you have 300-yard wide receivers and you lose the game and have the production? It's just like that defense is terrible with Atlanta still. It's just how is Quinn going to keep his job? And that's a good question that we're going to have to ask. The Dolphins in New England, they're still retooling, man. They're sitting to it, letting them be patient. And this is a slow rebuild. Don't rush them out there. Ryan Fitzpatrick is Ryan Fitzpatrick, 20 for 30, 191 yards, 3 interceptions. Cam Newton, 15 for 19 with 155, ran for over 70 yards on the ground. Like I said, Cam is back. He's looking healthy. It's glad to see him back on the field, and it showed that he's really worth it. I think New England, he's in a great system. They're not going to rush him. And let's not forget, I know 15 for 19 might not, for 155 yards might not seem a lot, but you do got to understand he's coming back from injury right now, and he didn't really get a lot of time to really dig deep into the playbook. So give it some time. Let him recover, let him heal himself, and hopefully he'll get better. You got the Bengals and the Chargers. I like Joe Burrow and what he did. It was a very great outing for Joe Burrow, and even though he threw a nasty interception, he led that drive for them to score a field goal to take it in overtime. And what a Bengals thing that the guy came up and pulled his groin. And it was sad, but AJ Green, 5 carries for 51 yards. Tyrod Taylor, 16 for 32, 8. Austin Eckler had a decent game in the run game. And overall, it was just a good outing for the Chargers defense, too. Also, man, losing Derwin James is still playing decent. I know it's the Bengals team who's still going through a rebuild, but this is a great start for the Chargers. Cardinals versus 49ers. Kyler Murray has improved. He was doing it with his legs. 26 for 40, 230, a touchdown, one interception, which is a 49 defense that was still pretty good. And he had 91 yards rushing in, and that's what running quarterbacks can do. You're not just one-sided where you stop them in the pass game and that's it. they can beat you with your legs, and that's what Kyler Murray did. And DeAndre Hopkins, Texans fans, I know y'all must be sick seeing this. 14 catches, 151 yards. Man, he had a productive day, man. Most catches he had in his career, and it's just impressive, man. DeAndre Hopkins, when you have a wide receiver that makes quarterbacks better, then you gotta keep him. And then lucky for Arizona that they got somebody who Larry Fitzgerald can just pass the torch on to. And Larry Fitzgerald went hard too. He had a couple of catches. And Jimmy Garoppolo, 259, 2 touchdowns. Not a really, it was an okay day. He's an average quarterback. I'm starting to think. And you had the Tampa Bay versus the Saints. You had Tom Brady, 28. You had a 23 for 36, 239, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, Chris Godwin, six catches for 79. Let's not take this too deep into this game. We gotta forget Tom Brady's coming off season where he's trying to find a rhythm with his teammates still and the wide receivers. He still looked pretty good. His arm still looked pretty good. Mike Evans, he tried to play through it. I think that was a bad idea. Get fully healthy, get rested, make sure that hamstring is pretty good. Saints, 18 for 30 for Drew Brees for 160 yards. Jared Cook, 5 for 80. I think it was a big loss for them to lose Michael Thomas, because now it says who's the threat on offense now besides Alvin Kamara, and then they're going to have to really figure that out, because Michael Thomas is going to say he's going to fight through it, but with a high ankle sprain, that could be a little tricky. So I think I have to sit him for a couple of weeks. At least he's not going to be 100% healthy, but at least we can get him at least to 75%, and a 75% Michael Thomas is still pretty good. You got the Cowboys versus the Rams. Dak Prescott, he looked terrible in the second half to me. Didn't look as good in the first 2 quarters. He went 25 for 39, 266 for a touchdown. Elliott, 22 carries for 96 yards, a touchdown. He was the best offensive player that you had. And what scares me about this team is that the offensive line is not as good as what it used to be. It's mediocre at best. You still got Tyron Smith, and you still got Zach Martin, and Lionel Collins was getting torn up, and Connor Williams could not hear in the Aaron Donald, and Michael Brockers was getting back there. So the offensive line was taking its beating, and losing Travis Frederick during this offseason definitely hurt them. Jared Goff threw an ugly interception, but he was 20 for 31, 275. Robert Woods, he had 6 catches for 105, and 18 carries for 79 from Malcolm Brown. And overall, it was a good game, but to me, that push off wasn't really that bad to necessitate a call, but it went towards the Rams' favor. But this Cowboys team, it was first game. Like I said, the energy was good. And also, one thing about the Cowboys, that y'all made adjustments during halftime, and like last season, y'all didn't do that. So it was good that y'all made adjustments, and the coaching staff improved upon what they didn't do last season. So let's see if they can do better against an Atlanta team. But overall, my takeaways from what you call it, week 1, the Browns might finish in last in this division if they don't get it together. I don't think Baker Mayfield is like that as people hyped him up to be. Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray are going to take over the league. That's what I was thinking. Joe Burrow had a solid productive outing in his first game, especially against his tough Chargers team. This was a great week 1 for the NFL. Very exciting games, very exciting players at the quarterback position. Patrick Mahomes, they look like they're 2 Super Bowl champ. They're going to another Super Bowl, but it's going to be a matchup for them next week, man, with Ravens in Baltimore. So share your thoughts, your opinions, subscribe if you like the video. Tone out. Thank you.